sorry. I knew iPhone 16 just came out, but check this out. I love roadmaps. I like talking about future devices. I love talking about the business. I love the design. I love the business of cell phones. I love cell phones, mobile technology, everything about it. So there's a lot of tech channels out there that you're not going to hear this from, or they'll never discuss. But that's why you come here to eSIM Studios, because I love to discuss future devices and what the Apple's planning and the roadmaps of Google and planning for stuff. Check this out. iPhone 17 Pro could merge the action button with the volume buttons, possibly inspired by its own camera control hardware. Now, if you're looking at this picture and you're like, what the hell? That's not an iPhone 17, is it? Think again. So if you watch this channel, we've discussed Apple's roadmap, and it's been on the point, on the mark. Probably 90% of the stuff that I've brought forward has been correct. Now, Apple eventually, if you see that hole punch there, Apple is eventually going to go with under-display camera sensors, selfie sensors, Face ID sensors, which means they're going to not necessarily get rid of the dynamic island, because they can make it an animation up there. So technically they can still have the dynamic island, but those cameras that are under the little elongated pill is just going to be one dot. And remember, they're going to go with one dot for a year, and then they're going to go with under the display. So we're thinking they're going to move to the single hole punch next year in the iPhone 17 series. And then the iPhone 18 series on their Apple roadmap in the future is when they're going to go fully under display, meaning no hole punch, nothing. Under the display for the iPhone 18 series. Now, iPhone 16 series were just released, yes. But if you're Apple, you're already testing iPhone 17 devices. Now, actually, they've been testing these for quite a while, right? It's not like, oh, we just released iPhone 16. Okay, let's work on iPhone 17. No. They've been working on iPhone 17 for probably 2 years already, right? So all this stuff takes, for a cell phone to plan, R&D, brainstorm, kind of think of a direction you want to go. You're planning this 2 to 3 years before it's next up, meaning this iPhone 17 Pro is next up, meaning the previous model's been released and the 17 series is the next one up, basically, to be released. They're planning this 2-3 years in advance. So it's very interesting to see. We were right on the action button. We were right on I'm trying to think of what I was not right on. It was the new rounded design of the iPhone 16 series. I think we had reported on the iPhone a little different design. Not the cameras, but the actual sides I thought they were going to be a little more rounded. But this just goes to show you that they're testing everything. So apparently somebody's gotten word from inside Apple, hell yeah, we're testing this and we're testing that, and whatever. But this is the story that came out, and they're trying to tweak their phones a little bit. Now remember, iPhone 17, going to be introduction of the new iPhone 17 Air. So you're going to have a 17, 17 Air, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max. And then in the iPhone 18, that's when they're supposed to go all display, no hole punch. And don't forget the biggest news, that's when they're going to release the iPhone Flip. That's when they're planning on releasing the iPhone Flip. So it would be badass if they had an iPhone Flip with no hole punch, nothing, just all display. And remember, they patented their hinge that creates a zero crease when it's unfolded. So it's a complete flat plane. Unlike Samsung, which still has a minor crease. It's getting better through the years, but it's still there. I think they would knock it out of the park. And these are little things. So you'll see them look, I know they've been on this design for a while, and I do give them, make fun of them quite a bit, but I kind of struggle with making fun of them, but then I get it, right? Because what would they get more flack for? Would they get more flack if they keep the same design the next few years of what the iPhone looks right now over the next few years? Or would they get more flack if they made a drastic design change and made it look completely different? They would get blasted if they made a completely different iPhone. I'm talking about the way it looks, where the cameras are on the back, stuff like that. So like, I get it. Like, it actually does look good. So it's like, well, why change something if it's not broken, right? Don't change something. Don't fix something if it's not broken. I get it, but hell, they've been on this for what? Since the 11, and it looks like the 17 probably going to be about the same until iPhone 18 is when they're supposed to get a drastic design change. Now you're going to see the 17 Air, which is a razor thin phone, but you're still going to have the classic iPhone 17, 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, which will look like the 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max right now. The 18 is where you're probably going to see more design change. So you'll have an 18, assuming it's a hit, which I'm sure it will be. You'll see an 18 Air, you'll see an 18 Flip, and then they'll do a big phone, small phone. So very interesting to see where this goes. Samsung, as you can tell, is changing it up slightly. With their rounded design. Nothing is probably going to have the more drastic change, although I don't think it's going to be a huge change. But you see these smartphone companies kind of get settled into their design. Consumers get used to these phones. They like these phones. That's why they buy them. And then these manufacturers kind of get not scared, but kind of get weary of changing something too much to shun customers away or have customers select another device. But we did get the news here. iPhone 17 Pro could merge the action button with the volume buttons, possibly inspired by its own camera control hardware. So you'll have different touch sensitivities for each one. I'm pretty anxious to get ours in. Like I said, gotta wait another few weeks, but I was gonna go see if I can get one this afternoon, but I'm sure it'll be gone by the time I'm done here. But it's interesting seeing them applying that same camera, that dedicated camera button, possibly to other areas with the action button, with the volume buttons. There was a report that they were going to have a buttonless iPhone, meaning no buttons whatsoever, no, just a solid unibody of display and back. Right? No buttons. It was going to be like a touch-oriented, depending on how hard you touch the side of a phone, the volume will go up, power will go on. And then there was even a report that I doubt we'll see come to fruition, but there was a report that this buttonless iPhone was not even going to have a charging port. You were just going to wirelessly charge it, which I think is stupid. But shit, I don't know. 20 years may be like that,